So how have you got to the point, like where you said you were helping your friends and paying off their debts and that, how quickly did that happen for you that you were able to do that, James? Or is that through the gold, or was that when you were in property?
But that was well before we started with the precious metals. Yeah, that's when myself and Adam got together, and we used to actually put financial plans together for people. We used to help them in all different areas, like such as mortgages and things like that, and we used to show people how to get rid of the mortgages quicker.
And this is, sorry, just to jump in there, James, this is stuff that you don't get taught at school. And I've even spoke to mortgage advisors, and
no idea.
They don't even know it's possible, because and this is not poking fun at a mortgage advisor or financial advisor or whoever. It's just that there's a system and a box, and when you go into these kind of professions, you are in the box. And it's very rare in our experience that people look outside of that box. We kind of I think once you start seeing this other stuff, you can never unsee it, if that makes sense. You kind of ruined in a good way. And you know, with mortgages, it's just maths. It's maths that no one tells you. In fact, let's just put it out there, and it's not something that we do now, but just to, I guess, illustrate a point for anyone watching is, when would you say, Jackie, we'll put you on the spot here, when do people pay their mortgage? As in, what kind of frequency? Every day, every week, every month, every year?
Monthly, isn't it? Monthly.
Yeah. And why do you do that? What's the other option? Is there another option? Does it make a difference? Yeah, and this is what you're told, either directly or indirectly. Actually, making the same amount payment, so you're not paying any more, but paying it in a different way, you can accelerate out of debt and pay your mortgage off a good few years quicker, maybe 5 years quicker, and save thousands in interest. Just maths.
So my son, for instance, is just about to move house. So they've got a mortgage, but they're just taking on a much bigger mortgage. And there's a way that would be better for him. Yeah.
Just pay it weekly rather than monthly.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if he's paying £1,000 a month, just pay £250 a week instead.
And you think, well, what difference does that make, right? It's 1,000, whether it's 1,000 in four chunks or 1,000 in one go. And I just want to say, look, at this point, this is not something that we kind of do now, but it's something that we have helped people with. And here's the reason why that 4 lots of 250 versus 1,000 matters. And that's because interest is calculated daily. Okay.
Right.
And no one tells you this. So let's say on the end of day one, you pay interest. Interest is calculated on your outstanding balance, and they add that interest on. Now on day two, they calculate the interest on the balance, but the new balance from day one, which already has interest on it. So there's a little bit more. It's only tiny, but mortgages are big amounts, aren't they? So small things make a big difference.
Absolutely.
Now, by the time you get to day 28, let's call it a normal month, or 28-day month, you've had interest on interest on interest on interest, and you're paying it off. You've kind of got the compound effect working against you. You're paying it off on the 28th when that interest has snowballed. Well, if you pay it off weekly, then you are stopping that interest accumulating throughout the month. I mean, you could say the most efficient way to do it would be daily, but it's a logistical nightmare, and I think you'd raise too many eyebrows, and I think people would kind of start to say things that you can't do. But weekly is definitely possible, and so it makes a big difference.
Just to make that clear then, to pay it weekly, that's nothing to do with gold and silver.
No, that's just something extra.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that we used to do.
Yeah, that's just us giving you that little bit more and just giving you an idea of what we've learned in the past. It's not just that, but we used to teach this sort of stuff to people. It's classed as revolving debt. It's the same as credit card debt. If you pay it off on a regular basis, or pay your balance down quicker, bring that balance down quicker rather than wait waiting for it to build up over the whole month, then you'll save yourself more money. And it's, yeah.
So you can say to the bank or the whatever company you've got the mortgage through that you want to pay it weekly.
Yeah, this, you have to be careful how you do it.
Yeah.
Not because there's anything wrong with doing it. Again, and we're not knocking people that work in banks or anything like that, but they're very much in the box, and a lot of them don't know that it's even possible.
Mm-hmm.
So,
why you'd even do it?
Yeah, why you'd even do it?
Yeah.
What they'll be like, well, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
But it does make a difference.
I'm really grateful for you sharing this, because I've not heard this before.
Yeah. Very, very few people.
Everyone should know about it, Jackie. Everybody should know about it. That's why we get
exactly.
Yeah, this is how we can't even share this information. You know.
Yeah, we don't really talk about this stuff much now, but this is just one of the things that got us to the point where we're helping people get out of debt quickly, using maths and logic and just stuff that you don't get taught.
Yeah.
And then they said, great, we've got some spare money, and we said, well, look, this is what we do and how we do it, and that's how we got to gold and silver. Just so you kind of understand the chronology of the journey. Because
we've had people in the past. I also had somebody at the event actually asking me about precious metals, and he mentioned that he had lots of debt, and I said, well, maybe you're better off getting rid of the debt first. There's no point buying precious metals if you've got all this debt. So, I told him a few ways in which, debt stacking and what we just showed you there, and how to get rid of his debt first, quicker, get rid of that debt first, and then you can look at precious metals down the line, So
absolutely,
it all works together, really.
Yeah, because like when my boys were younger, obviously, if I'd been able to buy into gold and silver then perhaps, for their university, they wouldn't be in debt now. Well, luckily the older one's not, because he didn't go to university, but the younger one, but he's still got to pay off his university debt. Yeah.
Oh, Jackie, the amount of financial plans we've done for people, and they've had all this debt hanging over them, from university fees and etc.
Exactly.
Thousands and thousands of pounds of fees. And this is another reason why when my little boy was 3 days old, I set up a precious metals account for him. So we've been saving for him for 4 years now. He's 4 years old. So he's been saving in gold, silver, platinum and palladium since he was 3 days old. So
amazing.
Well, a lot of grandparents like to set up accounts actually, and parents and grandparents for their grandkids or kids, for their futures, for the schooling or for, down the line, or pensions. It's normally pensions or schooling or
exactly for pensions, all those sort of things you've got to think of, because what is it going to be worth when we get when it gets to pension time or whatever.